Hey guys!
Hi.
Thanks for joining us on our next YouTube video. And today we're going to be talking about if you want to be a paranormal investigator, what you need to know and what you need to think about. So your options are either starting your own team or joining an existing team. Either way, you definitely need to do your research and know the background and what each team is going to be all about. So let's dive into each possibility and discuss the topics that you need to know for each option. The first one being joining a team.
Yeah, so that would be great for anyone new considering becoming a paranormal investigator in general. And anyone maybe looking to switch from a team that they're already on. Mm-hmm. So any scenario is possible, which is great. And there's plenty to learn. You know, every team is different. And just the idea of being or becoming a paranormal investigator is very different, especially from what you might see, especially on TV or in the movies.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Yeah, we do not recommend using TV or movies as a basis for what it actually will go down when being a paranormal investigator.
And to be honest, primarily it's boring.
Yeah.
But you're there to help the client.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Very important to remember.
So the first thing you really need to dive into after, figuring out that you want to be joining a team and understanding the benefits of being new to the field and joining a team is to know the requirements of that team.
Oh, yeah.
So every team is different in terms of how many cases they handle, their range, and what their expectations of you would be as an investigator. So for instance, first of all, number of times they're going to send you their handbook and you're going to have to read through it to understand what they're going to require of you. First of all being the amount of time they expect of you every month. So some people might be looking to just spend one weekend a month. Others will be expecting you to keep at least 1 to 2 days a week free on top of monthly meetings, trainings, etc. So you're going to need to be cognizant of that and what they're expecting of you. There's also the range that they'll expect of you, meaning the locations that they go to. So you have these teams that go to all these fun hunts all over tri-state area, and then you have other teams where they only do a few investigations a year, and it's going to be a matter of, well, they only do certain counties around where they live. And then you have teams that literally will go up to 4 or 5 hours away from a location. And so you're going to have to know what they expect of you, how far you have to go, and be able to know that you can do that type of traveling if you have a car, what your job schedule is about, and if you be able to accommodate driving long distances. Besides that, it's also a matter of if they want you to have certain types of equipment or if they're going to provide the equipment for you. So that's also a money factor. So again, when researching these teams, make sure that you know what they're going to expect of you and that you're going to be willing to live up to their standards.
Oh, yeah. And really, overall, just knowing the dynamics of their team and how they work and what role each person on the team really plays. Mm-hmm. Because collectively, that's what becomes, or what makes the team, is each individual and what their role is on the team. And
what their beliefs are.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, because every team's going to have a different belief system and how they think that team should be run. So that actually brings us to our next topic, which is researching that team. So now that you know what they expect of you, you need to know what you should expect of them. So it's really important to go on, research that team, see how long they've been around, see what type of cases they do. You could definitely tell from websites, social media, any kind of client feedback, what type of team it is and how experienced they are. And really, if it's a matter of what you believe and what they believe in. Because at the end of the day, you have to drive with the people on that team.
You're there for the client.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that.
Yes. And to do that, you have to be able to trust the other people on the team. So it's really important to be able to get along with and have a friendship, if not almost feel like a mini family when going on cases. So when you're joining a team, you have to understand the type of people that are on that team and know that at the end of the day, they have your back and you have theirs. And also then there's their process, how they go about handling cases.
Exactly. That's definitely important to know. And really, I mean, that could make or break your decision in terms of joining. Mm-hmm. You never know. You have to go with your beliefs and whether or not that would fit into what that team believes in. Mm-hmm. In the process, really.
Yeah.
It's all important.
Sometimes you get these teams where their process includes just kind of getting an inquiry and then doing an investigation immediately. And then you have other teams that take a more in-depth approach with more steps. It slows down the time, but then it also makes sure that the client is getting the best possible care for instance, they might get an inquiry and then ask for. Our team process is we get an inquiry, we get a questionnaire filled out, and then we do a call, and then we actually go and do a house visit before we even decide if an investigation's needed, because at the end of the day, it's not always needed.
Yeah, and, another factor is, like, the types of cases that the team might be accepting or handling.
Right.
That's another factor in your decision as well.
Mm-hmm.
Could be anything from what we call a Casper case, which is friendly, your typical haunting.
They're just stopping in to say hi.
Yeah, or towards the other end of the spectrum. So, yeah, it's all important to consider.
All important, because the further down that spectrum you go, the more you're expected to put into it, and the more you have to know in terms of being able to help that client. Yes. So, to kind of summarize, if you're going to join a team, do your research.
Yes.
Because every team is going to have different expectations, different backgrounds, different personalities, and different ways of handling their clients. And you have to know that you are 100% in how they do things so that you're able to jive with them and at the end of the day, be a productive member of their team.
And I'll also say, too, educating yourself aside from the team is also great, too. So to know what's out there right now, especially in terms of what's going on TV, that what attracts other people, and if they find out that you're a paranormal investigator, you're going to get every question you could ever imagine.
Mm-hmm. Be prepared to answer questions.
So just be educated overall, no matter what.
Yeah.
Do your due diligence,
yes.
and you'll be great.
Yeah. So that's option one, joining a team.